Hi, I'd like to thank Katrina for joining me today. Joining me on one of these sessions is actually a little bit hard, but I really am blown away from the results that Katrina has done, and I have to share this story with you. We had a chat around about back in December 2025.
Yeah.
Okay. And from this conversation, I could feel this lovely lady here was so flat. She was deflated. I could feel her energy had dropped so much. And I had met Katrina quite a few years back. We do a thing called adventure training, adventure sports and all these things. And we used to do kayaking and mountain bike riding. And I hadn't seen her for many years. And I knew the fun that she used to have back then. And what had happened now when we fast forward a couple of years later, she'd got into a position that she was tired, lethargic, run down, uncomfortable. And we're going to share this story with you as we go along. And I just felt that she had flatlined, literally. And I did this in one of the posts that we did when we fast forward, and how much I can see the difference in her feeling, her confidence has just grown. So what I want to do is, can you share with me the frustration that you had before? What made you first up go, hang on, I need to go and speak to someone, find out how I can bring weight down? But what was the biggest thing that used to really annoy you?
My biggest frustration for several years was people always saying that I looked like I was pregnant.
Yeah.
Asking me when my baby was due.
Yes.
And even after I told them
You were pregnant
5 times in a row, they would ask me 5 different times, are you serious? When is your baby due?
So that was the bloatedness that Katrina was feeling. And when you're bloated, you don't realise how much it extends the bowel. And even that when you're being quite bloated, it makes you feel uncomfortable as well.
Yeah.
Hey? Especially in your clothes, when you sit down,
Yeah.
the clothes choices. And did that lead you to, not wanting to go out?
Yeah, I wasn't very confident in how my appearance and what. Always felt uncomfortable in the clothes choices that I had because I was trying to cover my bloated belly and feeling uncomfortable and always worried about people commenting things to me.
Yeah, and it makes a huge impact. Now, physically and emotionally, talk to me about how you felt. Well, we know that you felt bloated and physical, but there was more to that. Like,
Yeah.
you're exhausted.
Yeah, I was really run down and I was tired all the time. I was feeling depressed and crying and just not happy about myself in general. And I had a lot of health problems that were popping up, and one thing was leading to the other. I had a massive skin rash that was covering most of my arms that broke out. I went to my doctor, and one thing led to another. We ended up investigating my dietary, my gut health.
Yeah.
I was diagnosed with irritable bowel syndrome, and I was just sick and burnt out.
And you were getting sicker as well.
I was getting sicker, yeah.
And you felt not just getting viral flu sick, but like run down sick, but you just didn't feel good. And many people who come to see me will say, I don't feel good. I don't feel like myself. And that was definitely you.
Yeah.
Definitely this lady.
Looking back, yes.
Yeah. And I know when I spoke on the phone, I felt like just going down through the phone and saying, you just come and live with me for a little bit and I'll look after you. She was broken, right?
I was very broken.
She was pretty broken. Now, you had been thinking for some time before you reached out. And like many people, we sort of think, oh, maybe I will contact Joe, or maybe I'll do something about it. But talk to me a little bit about why you didn't even contact, or what happened there.
So I knew that my weight was increasing and people were commenting all the time, and there was lots of health things popping up. I was getting sick. I knew that it was something that I had to make a change for.
Yeah.
And I was hopeful that I could do it on my own, but I realised that I needed to reach out for help. And I think reaching out for help is can sometimes be a little bit challenging and difficult because, well, I know we knew each other before. You knew what I used to be like.
Yeah.
I wasn't like that anymore. So I guess
Beside the fact we were both younger.
But so I know there comes a little bit of shame and embarrassment that that you've got your body to a state that you need help.
And you would have been embarrassed, like, well, hang on, I know Joe, and now, now I don't know if I should speak to this person. But I'm glad you did, because I'd like to think that the conversation that we had, that I made you feel comfortable as well, but that 70% of diets fail, and they fail because they're a diet. And one of the biggest things that I like to share with many of my members is that it is about food, and yes, you can exercise, but it's about educating and arming yourself with the knowledge, because when you have knowledge, it comes power. Many people think, I can't do this because I don't have the willpower, in which you would have said, I've broken my diets before because I didn't have a willpower.
Yeah.
And I don't call this a diet, it's a healthy lifestyle program, and it's a healthy lifestyle for a reason, and that's because we need to make the changes, not just for now, but for later, because at some stage we call it, well, I fell off the wagon. And most people will go back to their old style of eating, in which even when you had your old style of eating, what are some of the things that you were doing before?
Just reaching and grabbing for snack and convenience foods. I wasn't organised in having meals prepped, and I was just eating a very random selection of
She wasn't
things.
organised.
Skipping meals as well.
Had no routine. Cupboard surfing, we quite often call it cupboard surfing. That means that you are snacking more, or you're back in the kitchen, or back in the cupboards, or back in the fridge because you're not satisfied. And that's where people think, well, willpower comes into it. I should have more willpower. But it's not about that. It's about when we have poor food choices, they make you want to eat more and snack more. But when we can balance out your fats, your proteins and carbohydrates, what happens now is that we're now nurturing and providing your body with proper nutritional food. And when that happens, your brain starts changing. You feel better, you have more energy, your headspace becomes different. And it didn't take long. I reckon it was not even 2 weeks. I don't even think it was 2 weeks that I remember speaking to you for our checkup, and you were already feeling better. You were so happy that you started to see weight loss results finally. But I could already feel the energy shift.
My mind became clearer, and I just thinking about myself more positively over time. That's definitely improved.
Because you did definitely have the brain fog, and like as I said, like the low motivation, I didn't want to go and exercise, or sometimes I'll just grab something that's really quick and easy. In fact, you weren't even really cooking at home. You were just makeshifting meals. My husband was doing a lot of the cooking, or just scavenging or whatever was there. And now that we've transitioned, she's back in the kitchen. She enjoys cooking. You don't need to be a master chef to do what I do, but she's enjoying being more creative, but enjoying the food that she's eating because it tastes good, it feels good, it makes her feel good. And that's the big difference. And we don't realize how our food choices bring you down, and how it actually controls that motivation and that mood and that depression. But you get caught in this cycle. You just didn't know that you're in the cycle. You knew you didn't feel good, but you didn't know how to get out of that cycle. Now, previously you had tried a few things. I think you tried going back to exercise, but that didn't really work for you either.
So I've got young children, I lead a busy life, and fitting exercise into my schedule has been challenging. It still is. And I was relying solely on exercising a couple of times a week and hoping that would work, but it wasn't giving me
And you were already
results.
tired as well.
I was tired, so then I wasn't motivated to exercise because I was tired, and when I was trying to fit my exercise in was really late at night or like really early in the morning, and I was not giving 100% effort into the exercise because I was tired and wasn't well fed.
And then you were like becoming chronically fatigued and exhausted, and then you sort of beat yourself up and you go, oh well, I'll just have another chocolate. I'll just go and have another one. And that's what we do. But the beautiful part that I do is, like, I exercise. I know that Katrina will get back to and doing more exercise as well, and going walking and doing things with the children. But the biggest thing that I changed is that it's an 80-20 rule. 80% is the food that we eat. Our food has been so changed over the past 20, 30, 40 years that it's not the same. It's more processing, more sugar, more fats, words that are coded on marketing on the back of packages that we don't even understand what they are.
Yeah.
So it makes it even harder. So even though sometimes we even felt that we were making a good choice, it really wasn't a good choice, but you didn't know that until you now know how to read the back of the label. And it's not that hard now that we know how.
Yeah.
But when it comes down to the 80-20 rule, I want 80% to be the food. And if you enjoy movement, walking, if you enjoy going for a push bike ride, if you enjoy yoga or a swim, as humans, we were designed to move your body. But it doesn't mean we need to go to another boot camp, or we need to go and flog yourself out that it's beyond, realization that you can't keep up with it.
Yeah.
So I think that has probably been easy when I said, you know what, you don't need to exercise to bring your weight down. We just need to get the food right.
Yeah, and that was one of the things that I asked you at the beginning, because I remember years ago, pre-children, when I had more time, I was exercising nearly every day and burning myself out physically. And I did not want to go back to that physical burnout either.
And as we change with age, that high intensity can actually work against us, because it can raise the high cortisol. That's high stress on your body. And then that's a whole different chapter, which we don't need to go to today, but that's a whole new thing, right? So what I want to know is when you chose to ring me up, but what was there something different about my approach that you think that stood out for you?
Just the way you explained everything made it really easy for me to understand, and if I had any questions, I knew that you were there to support me. Just made it really easy.
Yeah, and I like to think that I'm approachable. In fact, what we have is, people can send me messages. I would rather address a problem now than wait 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks to your next appointment. And, we do have Messenger now, so we're more in contact. We have text messages if we need to text message. But if you had a problem, in which quite often sometimes you did, you felt comfortable enough that you could say, hey, I'm just going to ask Joe. I'm just going to ask Joe, can I have this? Or if you were feeling really flat, we also jumped onto a call and I said, come on, let's pick yourself back up. Because where most people fail again is that they fall back into their old habits, but they're beating themselves up because you might have done something different, or you might have had a cheat day, if they want to call it a cheat day, but the old you would have gone back to the old ways.
Yeah, so I do find it overwhelming at times, and I just had to reach out to you, and you helped me break it down, and okay, we're just focusing on one thing at a time, and just simplifying it and making it easier for me.
And also, you don't realize how far you've come, because I look at it from a different side, right? But I can go, but hey, you know that you've achieved this, and do you know that you're doing this differently, and look, this is how far you've come. And you're like, actually, you're right. I can see that now, because we just got to look at it different, because as I said, I'm looking at it differently. Now, did you have concerns before you started?
I did. I had concerns that I wouldn't stick to the program, because I've paid for many courses and done boot camps and done all sorts of things and never stuck it through. Or I do sometimes, but often the weight loss ones, I didn't see the results, and I tried over time, and I didn't want to waste my money and not see the results.
And that's one of the reasons why, even when I spoke to Katrina, I said, trust me for 30 days. Give me 30 days, and she paid for her program. But I said, if you don't see any results in 30 days, I'll refund your money. And I think that got her across the line. She's like, well, if I fail, I can get my money back. I never let anyone fail, just letting you know, because it's in my best interest to show you that there's a whole different way. We've got to think about it different. We can nurture the brain, nurture the stomach, but I know that when we get you across the line and you start seeing it differently, we're going to see results. And this comes back to the inflammation, because the food is causing a lot of inflammation. We're going to talk about your blood test results in a minute, but we've got to look at things differently, because it's not just about being on a diet. Once again, I can't say it time and time again, we have to change your diet versus being on a diet.
Yeah.
Now, did you find my approach hard, or the Back to Basics Healthy Living program hard?
No, it was definitely easier than I expected. It was very well thought out, and lots of tips that I could go back to I have a little book that I could refer to and flick to, what was that about? Oh, yes, okay. And the tips were there to look up, or I knew that I could reach out to you at any time if I was stuck on something.
Yeah, and the reason why it's called Back to Basics is because it's back to
simplifying.
It's just simple, right?
Yeah.
We don't need to do macros, we don't need to count, we don't need apps, we just need pen and paper, that's it. Okay?
Yeah.
Now, how did you find the food? What was your yummy foods?
Yeah, I found all the food really delicious, and I think Joe mentioned before that I had lost my enjoyment with cooking. I was not cooking, I was just convenience grabbing and eating whatever I could find that was already pre-made. So I loved the tips that you shared in the group and all the recipes. So I looked up my favorite recipes from the group and I tried some. There's a yummy quiche that I love.
I love the quiche, Lorraine. We still have the quiche now.
Your mum's.
Oh, my grandmother's braised steak and onion.
Braised steak and onion.
Yeah, it's delicious. My mum makes it better than me. Just don't tell her that. But my mum makes the braised steak and onion better than I do. But it is my grandmother's recipe that I shared in the group.
But then I started experimenting myself more and becoming a very organized bulk cooker.
Yeah.
So I was struggling with breakfast options and lunch options, and that was my go-to. I'll just go through the drive-through somewhere on my way to work and grab something for breakfast or skip breakfast altogether. And lunch was the food truck coming to visit my work. Often I'd food truck or takeaway, and
and it would have been costing you a fortune eating rubbish.
Yeah, it was.
And I think I did say to you, all those things here that I'm looking in your food analysis, all the money that you're spending here, it's literally going to pay you dividends when you invest in your health, but you were already wasting that money on having poor health.
Yeah.
We just had to transfer it over a bit.
Yeah, so I found the recipes from you that you recommended recipes. I picked out some, and then I just cooked enough to put in my freezer. So I had grab and go breakfast options.
Yeah.
And then I had ready-made freezer meals for lunches or a convenience dinner if I happened to be feeling tired or I had lots of things happening. And that's been game-changing.
And I know you say the word meal prepping, I actually call it meal banking. And when I meal bank, let's say for example, if we did the braised steak and onion, if I made extra, then I just freeze the extra. If I made the curry, well, then I just freeze the extra. I don't have to specifically go, I've got to go meal prep all these meals in 7 days a week, because that becomes, to me, even me, that would be draining, thinking I've got to do this every Sunday and meal prep the whole week. But when you can use your leftovers and then freeze them, that's what I call takeaway. You can take that away and it's not that hard.
Yeah. And I did do that. I actually went away on a camp.
You did? Yes.
And it was a catered camp with a group of kids. And I looked at the menu and I'm like,
oh my God, how am I going to do this? She said, hey Joe, how am I going to do this? This is one of the tips I said. Tell them you would like different food choices, not in a bad way. And she's like, oh no, I can't do that. I went, of course you can. And
yes. So this was challenging. A couple of times I reached out for the same situation. And so for this camp, I just took some options with me. I took some pre-made quiche and rissoles and a bag of salad. Yeah. And I ate what I could from what was provided, and then I substituted and I had the extras, and it was easier than I thought.
Yes.
I made it so overwhelming.
Yeah. And she even went away for a conference, and she said, Joe, how am I going to manage this conference? I'm going away. How am I going to manage it? And I said, well, did they give you a list of foods? Can you like tell them, you don't have to have bad dietary options, but can you like tell them you've got some things you'd like to change? So you did.
Yeah, so the first time I went away, I didn't tell them at all that I had any dietary requirements. And then I saw the food on offer, and I thought to myself that I would give in. I wouldn't have the anyway, I thought I'd just go rank and eat anything else.
Feast of famine, right? We're in.
But I looked at the food and I was like, oh, there's a lot of carbs there. That's not fitting in with my plan, and I actually don't want to eat it. I knew that I would feel bloated and ill if I ate all that was there. Yeah. So bit of a teary reach out to Joe.
What can I do?
And then I got the confidence and I just spoke up and said, actually have brand new dietary requirements that I'm sorry I didn't mention, and they catered for me.
Yep,
and I had some delicious high protein, low carb meals.
Yeah. And see, the problem is that it actually, the food that was on display or on offer, the biggest real problem out of it was that she knew that these foods were going to make her feel sick. make her feel bloated, make her feel unwell, make her feel tired. But she knew that. That's part of the education. So it is about the food, but it's the education along the way, because she knew that she wouldn't feel well and that you were making a choice for yourself.
Yeah.
I'm choosing to feel good and I'm choosing the different food options.
Yeah. And that was a slow thing. That was, you know, I'm still learning that now. Even after my success, I'm like,
that's all right.
try to go back off plan and go, okay, really? No.
Now, let's talk about your results, because it's absolutely amazing. And I'm going to show centimetres in a minute. In the time frame that we worked together, I think it was about 6 months.
Yeah.
That's it. And 21 kilos.
Yeah.
21. High five. Go girl. Now, the biggest thing that when we did her measurements after this time frame, the consistent part here is that she's also brought down, and I'm going to show you in real terms what it actually was even on her stomach, but she took between 14 and 16 centimetres. There's 14 and 16 centimetres, but this was over her whole body. So let's have a look at, this is the game changer. Come, let's stand up. Now, whoops, we're not in. We have to stand up. I didn't realise that. Okay, so when we first started, she was sitting, where have we got? Waist. Okay, so this was her waist on her very first day that she came in. Was here. And now, little skinny mini, she is in here. So that's quite a big difference when you look at that. And that's why even when she was saying that she looked pregnant, can't really see that. Yeah, it's a bit hard to see, but you can see from here to here, people were saying, oh, you're pregnant. That's because this part here was a lot more bigger than the top part. So she looked bigger as if, well, we're pregnant, right? But she wasn't pregnant. But so we've done some really good results. But I love doing that visual change there, because it means a lot. And the biggest thing that I think has changed with you, energy improved, confidence is improved, feel good, happy with hubby. I've seen her posting photos of them going out for dinner. So this means that she's reconnected with hubby. They're enjoying each other's company. And he's complimenting her.
Yeah.
Like, hello. Oh,
he always has complimented me, but it was the self-belief that was blocking and believing the confidence. Yeah, my wedding ring's fit.
I think she sent me a photo. She sent me many photos, but she sent me a photo that her ring now fitted her. And how long had it not fitted you?
I'd say 5 or 10 years. It
really?
Was like, when after I had the children.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't realise it was that long. So.
And now I have to remember to wear them because it's been so long. I'm not wearing them today.
And the biggest thing that I've noticed too, she's buying new clothes. She had to buy a new bra.
Oh yeah, definitely had to buy.
Because the cup size changed, the size around here changed. I've seen photos of her with her daughter. She's gone out. They've bought, I think it was matching clothes at one of those shows that you went to.
Yeah.
But like, the confidence that she's doing these things now is like a 10 out of 10.
Yeah.
Compared to where you were.
I feel 100 times better.
So I think that's pretty well.
My blood test results.
That's right, actually. So one of the things, well, actually, I should ask. Did you find the accountability sessions that we had is a little bit different than what some other people had, but did you find the accountability for you was one of the key parts?
Yeah, definitely. That's what I needed in the program, and it was very helpful knowing that I could reach out to you no matter how silly the question might
Never
be.
a silly question. Never a silly question.
Sometimes I think, I'm just getting really overwhelmed by this XYZ situation, and you're like,
just send it to
Joe.
Joe.
Not that bad.
Yeah. And that's what I would rather. I would rather you to connect with me, for me to read it, interpret it, and come back and go, well, this is what I'm seeing, this is what I'm hearing. How about we do this? And you're like, oh, that doesn't seem very hard. Yeah, I could do that. Because I'm looking at it differently, because you're in your world and overwhelmed, and I'm just like, no, let's just cut through all that. Let's just do this. You're like, sure, that sounds so much easier.
Yeah.
And also too, and I'm going to be honest here, out of all my clients in 30 years, Katrina's the only person that consistently sent me her photos for lunch and dinner every single day. And she goes, do you mind me doing this? I said, I don't mind if this is what helps you to make you accountable. But it did make her accountable because she was showing proof to me, this is my lunch, this is my dinner. She didn't write down a meal plan. She didn't have to send all that stuff in or macro count or anything like that. She just went, well, this is what I'm eating, Joe. But she knew when she did that, she stuck to her guns because she was showing proof, validating to me, but also for yourself that you were following through.
Yeah, and I was pretty strict on it. My family like, are you going to send her a photo of that? I'm like, yeah.
Yes, she did. And I did say to her, if there's any good photos coming through, I am going to reuse these photos. Yeah. So the accountability work, checking in works, and sometimes just allowing me to do a little bit of heavy lifting, it works because when you just do it on your own, sometimes it's easy just to give in.
Yeah.
You know, but when you've got someone else to talk to, just talk with what I call your outside voice. Sometimes it just makes life just so much more easier.
Yeah, and I did want to give up a couple of times, and I did go off the rails a few times, and then
I said, "Come on, get back here, girl."
I stopped sending the pictures. You're like, "Hey,
I haven't sent any photos for a while. Do you want to send me some?" Okay, so I do know this.
Time.
And look, we're all human. I am human. You are human. We can't be perfect 100% of the time, but this is about having the lifestyle. That's what I said, we're all human, right?
Yeah.
But you have learnt so many things in this time frame that this wasn't a diet for you. This is now going to be your future. You're not going to go back to that person you were before because you didn't like her.
No.
So you like this person now, but now that you've learnt about the food, how easy it is to do, now we just have more consistency in following through.
Yeah, definitely. And I'm still learning that along the way too. Like, you know, sometimes I go back to old Katrina ways, and then I just have a bit of a wake up call, a slap in the face.
Yeah.
Like, okay, you didn't feel well after you ate that.
Yeah, because you can notice the difference.
But it is a lot easier now to, you know, it's just my new normal. Just prepping the foods, like you said, it's a lifestyle change. It has become a lifestyle change.
Yeah.
That's what I want to eat now.
Yeah. And what's the biggest noticeable change besides the scales? We lost 20 kilos, but besides the scales, what else is a big noticeable change that happened for you?
Yeah, so I've been having some follow-up appointments through the hospital, going through investigations into my gut health, and they did a series of blood test results, and I went to the hospital, had my follow-up, and they're like, okay, your inflammation markers have dropped from over 100 to 26.
That's huge. That's huge. She actually sent me a message, and then I think I was doing something. She goes, I have to ring Joe. She's like, I'm like, she's ringing me. I'm like, yeah. She's like, Joe, I have to tell you this. My inflammation markers has dropped down from 100 down to 20. I went, oh my God, that's amazing. She was very excited. And she just wanted to to share it with someone that knew the journey that she'd gone on. But it also showed how much she had changed, not just on the scales, but her overall health and well-being, her health improved. Yeah, inside and outside. That's what we want to do. We want to feel good on the inside and the outside. Okay. If someone's sitting here watching and thinking, what should I do? And they're not feeling their happiest self, they might be carrying a bit extra weight. What's your friend-to-friend suggestion?
Don't delay.
Don't delay like Katrina did.
Contact Joe today. No, seriously, you know, self-sabotage is a big thing for me, and I was all like, oh yeah, I'll keep trying, I'll just keep trying, and you know, sometimes you can't do it alone, and you just need to reach out. It's very difficult and like sometimes embarrassing, and because I already knew Joe, then a part of me is like, oh, you know,
what will she think of me
now that I'm not that old person I used to be? But yeah, it was, you made it really easy, and I was, you know, you come to a very vulnerable spot in your breaking down and sharing exactly how you feel at your worst, but just know that you can get through this, and getting support.
You can. And in all honesty, if I see anyone, I don't retain everything that we have in our conversations. I have to be honest, because I just see you as the person who we are. I mean, I can bring up stories and conversations, you know, what we've done because we've gone over these things, but at the end of the day, I don't think any less of anyone, and I don't think any more of anyone. I'm just absolutely excited and elated when someone feels good on the inside, they've lost weight, their health has improved. That's all I care about. That's all I remember. And I remember saying to Katrina, I did a walk and talk, which I quite often do, and it was a little bit, I just really wanted to celebrate Katrina's results after 20 kilos, but I also had to share her story at that particular time of this woman that I knew that was broken, from this woman that today, when I had spoken to her, she had, as I said before, her confidence had grown, she was buying the clothes, she was feeling good, she was back to her old self.
Yeah.
And that just fills my heart when I know that you feel good and that it has a domino effect. Hubby feels good, the children feels good because you're good at home, because you're feeling good. So the whole thing just evolves around us. We don't realize it, but we are the most important person in the house. And I don't mean that in a beat me up way of, oh my God, you know, you've got tags on yourself. But everyone relies on you, whether it's the husband, whether it's the mother-in-law or your mum or your sister or the children. If someone goes to you, they're coming to you for help and support. And sometimes it's really hard to be that upbeat person all the time. And generally what happens is that we tend to put ourselves last. If you had $100 and you said, well, I'm going to spend $100 with Joe, or I'm going to spend $100 on the children, or I'm going to spend $100 on myself, you're going to go for $100 on the children. Every time. We will always put ourselves last. But sometimes if you then change over and go, but hang on, if I invest in myself and I feel good, that investment will pay me dividends in my health in the future. Because there's only two industries that we have. We have the sickness and the wellness industry. And I know that you are heading to the sickness industry in being part of the big pharma and probably going to be on medications at some stage in the future. Now she's reversed that down. Her markers have already told her that she's reversed her health around into the positive. So that investment that she made that she wasn't going to do, but she's done this, has paid her dividends 100 times over.
Yeah.
Like, it was well worth it.
Oh, definitely, yeah. And I knew that if I didn't make a change and reach out for help, then I would keep going in that opposite direction that I was and get worse and worse. And I didn't like that where I was going. I knew that I had to make a change for myself and for my family, for my children.
Yeah, because you've got young children, and the thing is that if you're at the stage now and then you continued on, well, you know, the next 10 years could have been quite sad, really.
Yeah. And I've spoken to my children. They've been really supportive. They're young, and I've asked them, you know, do you like what Mummy's been doing, and are you proud of Mummy, and you know, have you noticed any change? And they do comment that I'm a lot happier, and
as I said, it's a domino effect in the whole house.
They notice what I've been eating, and they pull me up. Mummy, are you supposed to be eating that?
Damn children.
So they're learning different things as well. Like, it's still very challenging to get children to eat.
But one of the good things about this, it can be challenging, but you know now, even with our children, I just did a post on this the other day, and our younger children are getting bigger. Now, they're getting bigger from the food and maybe a little bit of lack of play. Now, children can't buy their food. It comes from mum and dad. The mum and dads have the money. So when we go grocery shopping, it's us that is bringing the food into the house. I'm not saying that we're doing the bad thing, but when you don't know the types of foods that you are selecting, and then we feel that we're giving our children healthier choices, we still can have snacks and stuff like that. This is where marketing companies and processing companies should be held accountable, because they are making it harder and more confusing than ever before. High processing, high sugar, but when they've got a 5-star rating or a 4.5-star rating, or they use the big words on there that make it sound natural and fresh, and they're really misleading words. But this is where it then follows through into the children. Now, Katrina knows how to cut through all that and go, right, this is good. This is maybe a treat. We can call them treats, but you know what? This is an occasional food. This is our normal everyday food.
Yeah, made reading the labels a lot easier.
Yeah, because they have made it harder. If anything that I've noticed in like the 30 years that I've doing this, it's probably become even harder, not so much for me, but for the consumer. And I hear this time and time again. But anyway, thank you, my friend.
No, thank you.
See the smile? I do this for these smiles, and this was not the smile that we saw 6 months ago, but this is the smile that we get today. But thank you for joining me today. I know it can be hard to do these, and thank you for watching, and I'll look forward to chatting with you guys again soon.